Is this thing on?
All right, let's get this show on the road.
Okay. All right. Episode number 18.
Are we on 18? All right. Hey, what kind of bird likes avocado toast?
Which one?
The millennial falcon. But while we're on the subject of millennials, what does a millennial expect for doing nothing?
I don't know what.
You don't know? A
What is it?
trophy.
Yeah. I like
Now,
those are two of the best ones.
that said, there'll be no trophies given today.
Oh no. Tell us why, Doug.
We're going to start off hot here.
Mm.
Now, you know, I give you full credit of being a fantastic carver. You have a school. You're very experienced and just a real true artist.
Here we go.
But myself and the viewers or listeners in this case may have a bone to pick with you this week. Is there anything you'd like to
Right.
admit to before we get going here? And
So
now,
this is
like I said, I've already said that you are a fantastic carver, but being your elder, we have to come in hot with some discipline.
yeah. Nothing
So
wrong with that.
What could that be for? Could it just
Yeah. Well, this is the funny part. It's sad as it is funny that Doug called me. What day was it, Doug? Was it 3 days after or 2 days after?
I
The
don't
podcast came out on
remember.
YouTube. Yeah. So it was a couple of days, I think, or maybe it was the first day. I was looking at I think it was
No,
day
you
one.
called me. You called me and asked me if I listened to it.
That's right. I called you and I
Yeah.
had said, "Oh wow, we're back in it. You know, like it's going well. People are commenting, responding. This is great. This is fun." And you said, "Yeah, it's funny. I tried to listen to it this morning and I couldn't." And I was like, immediately knew what he meant. You know, and that's that Anchor. Yeah, apparently I'm out of the swing of things. I didn't post it to our audio formats. So iTunes, all those guys, they didn't get anything. Only the YouTubers got it. So to all of you out there who listen via audio, that was a severe degree of absent-mindedness there. Wow. I publicly apologize. I want to let you know that it will not happen again. I'm going to be better.
He's gonna be better.
I did it this is the second time too, right?
Well, more than that, at least.
I think it's the second time.
Second time, okay, maybe for this
Yeah.
part, yeah.
For this mistake, Doug, you got to run.
That's right.
Check your running
I
tally.
guess it was just standing me up other times. That's right.
Yeah.
So-
Oh yeah, right.
But yes,
standing
that
up.
was a shame.
I think the problem is with me is that people they assume that, I don't know why they assume this, but I think they just assume that I have a full capacity of my brain at all times. That I remember things, and if I don't remember something, a lot of people think that I'm doing it on purpose or that I just don't care. But the reality is, I live in a fantasy land that is my brain, that it just doesn't always do what I want it to do. So,
Well, truth be told, and I know we'll get a comment about this, that's saying that, well, Doug, you knew that it wasn't up, right? Why didn't you do something about it?
yeah.
But I couldn't because I was too angry. Anyway, we got that out of the way. So we're going to we're trying to have a successful podcast that will be uploaded every Friday morning going forward. Sorry to all who missed the audio.
Yeah.
And hey, while we're on the subject, why don't you just give us a little shout out or whatever if you are an audio listener, and how do you listen to it? Do you listen to it at work? Do you listen to it in your car? Or is if you had YouTube playing at home, would that be the equivalent of the audio?
Yeah, I'm
Right.
curious too. Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah. So anyway, hey,
Tell us what the
it's coffee
coffee is.
time.
Yeah.
It's coffee time. But wait, first, coffee time today is brought to us by our friends Trevor, Charles, Diana, and Mark. Big thanks to them who went over to the Buy Me a Coffee section and clicked that link and bought us a coffee. So thanks, guys. And
Sincerely.
coffee is on you. And today's coffee on my end is called Biker Blend.
Oh.
This is what is it? A Guatemalan, Honduras, what does that mean? Origins, how can it be all three? Guatemala, Honduras, and India.
Oh, it's a combo.
Oh, you know what? They didn't check the one off. Maybe that's what. But anyway, flavor notes are smoky, charred hickory, and it is considered rich.
Oh, well, you have to be rich to pay for that, I bet.
It's yeah, these little packets aren't that cheap, really.
No,
but anyway, I'm drinking that right now, and
how is it?
Pretty good.
You like it? Yeah. No, for me, it's a local company called Sabbath. I've recently been turned on to them. Sabbath Coffee Roasters, and they are over in Clawson, Michigan. And this is their Ritual. It's their house blend. It's overtones, or tastes of lemon, praline, pecan, berry jam. Praline is the word. And it's a mix of Ethiopia and Guatemalan coffee. And I really can taste the Ethiopia. No, it is good though. I like it. I'm not sure I'm not trained enough to get the tasting notes, but it's good.
I like mine. It says smoky charred hickory. I'll accept those flavors, but
yeah,
my palate is not that adept at pulling apart flavors.
It's expensive.
So the name Sabbath Coffee Roasters, what are they, just like throwing it in the face of the Sabbath? Like, all we do on the Sabbath is roast coffee beans? The Sabbath is a day of rest, not roasting coffee. What were they thinking?
I don't know. I wonder if they're a Christian company. It says here, you deserve a break, and we've crafted something special for you. Fill your mug, take a sip, and celebrate all that is good.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's that.
Very good. Well, that was I'm still I still want to go a little bit more. These bags these small bags.
Yeah.
And I saw it had a little what do you call it? Like a little Ziploc tab on it. Yeah. So that you can reseal the bag.
Yep.
So I cut the top off of it. And apparently, it only seals on one side. Over here, you're supposed to keep the top of the bag on.
Yep.
So you got to pour it out the side of the bag. So
that bag is no more. Mine's the same way.
So you understand what I did?
I know exactly what you did, because I think I've done it maybe at some point or another. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. Or I just don't understand. But anyway, what have you been up to this week?
I have been carving. Well, for one, I did a green man for I actually put it on auction on Facebook. So if you're my Facebook friend, well, it's long gone. It's long gone since it expired a few days before we got this. But I might do another one in the future, I guess. But yeah, I just put this on Facebook, and it's the auction is ending the end of this week. No, Monday, tomorrow. No, today is Tuesday, so Wednesday as we're recording this. Which you're not supposed to say. Shh. Yeah. It's actually Friday. That's what I meant. So anyway, yeah.
That is so ridiculously good.
It's big. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So it's a big boy. And yeah, so that was pretty fun. I got to a certain point with it where I was like tired of fooling with it. So I just put clear coat and then called it. And I didn't even really like sand certain parts of it that I wanted to, but I actually ended up I kind of went the Bruno Wolpath way, which is where he just kind of like leaves. Obviously I'm not comparing myself to Bruno. My point is he's leaving the like lines and tool marks in, and that's actually kind of cool. So,
well, for the audio listeners, that green man that I elected is a oak
leaf.
Oak leaf green man with some acorns. But the beauty is the depth, and we're going to talk about that when we get to me, because I want to go a little bit deeper. But
no pun intended.
Well, that's it, right?
Yeah.
That's right. But those leaves are just like off of the wood. Like, that's amazing. Like,
Thanks.
super good. Super good.
I appreciate it.
But so you're auctioning it on Facebook?
Yeah. Yeah, I figured I'd try it.
Oh.
I hadn't done this. I did this for a carving that I painted my own. I did this Native American with a warrior paint on his face, and that went over super well. And so I don't know, it's been a year or two, maybe two, maybe plus 2+
No,
years.
I remember you carving that one. That was, you actually carved that native for the International Association of Wood Carvers as a demo,
Oh,
and then you painted it later on.
yep, that's exactly what happened. And so
Yep,
what was that?
yep.
That was at least a couple of years ago, or maybe a year.
Well, a healthy year anyway.
Yeah.
Probably a year and a half. Yep.
Yep. It's funny, we've known of each other that long. Yeah, October 2020, so 2 years now. Well,
Oh,
not really a year. Yeah. Anyway, I digress.
about a year and a half.
Yeah. So
So
that, and then I did another Green Man today. I'm on a Green Man roll, and I actually kind of like tell me if you have experienced this, and maybe I sound like a broken record, but whenever I have a limited amount of time to do something and I kind of knock something out quickly, I'm usually more happy with it than if I've spent, 3 days. Like this Green Man, I've just had way too much time into, like a day and a half in this or something.
Yeah,
probably. And that one I carved, I'll pull it up. It's literally.
so this Green Man that Alec
carved
is
in,
carving,
I had already previously roughed this thing in, but I didn't, but the finishing process took me like, I don't know, a few minutes. I mean, like not a few minutes, sorry, a few hours, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. But I like his expression even better. So I don't know. It's hard. Do you notice that when you're carving, that when you do something quickly, you feel like you would get more enjoyment out of it because you don't have as much?
Well, if I do it quickly, I'm happier, mostly because if I do it quickly, that means everything came together. I didn't screw something up.
That's such a good point, Doug. Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's just like every step clicked. The eyeballs were immediately the same size.
Yep.
Everything was just on par and everything worked. So that's why it makes you happier. Now, the ones that I put too much time in, I usually set them aside. I get to a point. I actually have 2 things on the go right now that I've actually just set aside. And then yesterday I went and did another carving, and it worked out great. It's just a change of focus and coming back to things is working for me more and more all the time. Or if I get frustrated, or if I think I went too deep or did something wrong, I'll just say, usually it's late at night anyway, and I'll say, okay, off you go, and I'll revisit it. And when I revisit it, it's normally just a few cuts and I'm right back into it. But then you just get to a point where you're just like, I just don't have the focus or I'm not getting the enjoyment from it.
That's so good. No, you hit the nail on the head, that it's that way because it's going well, and that's why it takes less time. That's why you enjoy it more. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So
hadn't thought
now
about
that rarely happens for me, but
same.
yes.
No, same. I feel the same way.
So you've been I'm curious still about the I'm not gonna let you go yet. The Facebook auction. Do you have like, I'm not on Facebook, so do you trust that your followers on Facebook are going to give you a decent price, where, say, compared to putting on a website at a higher price, or do you think they're going to bid you up and make you happy? This is the gamble, right?
That's right. No, and I've actually done it once before. So usually the auction I reserve for people in the carving school. Occasionally, as the Canadians say, I'll post a carving there, but I mean, maybe like once every year or something. I don't know. I've done it a couple of times, but I've done this Facebook thing at large maybe 1 or 2 other times. I can't remember the second time, but I know I've done it 1 other time. So a total of, including this time, 3 times. And it seems to have worked well. I know with the school, I posted a carving there once and it got like $100-something, and I was kind of bummed. I was expecting it to do better.
Yeah.
Because the average carving goes for around $350. And so I was hoping to get at least that, and I didn't. And so, yeah, when you have a larger enough group, I think I have a few thousand friends, or however many you're allowed to have on Facebook or something like that. So, it's not bad. And I usually go to Facebook because I think, well, there are more people there who are going to be interested in buying a carving than the younger folks on Instagram. And
Right. Yeah, that
so
makes sense actually. Now, so in auctions past for me, how long are you auctioning it for?
usually 24 hours, right around there.
Exactly. Good for you. Because this is what I was gonna say. Sometimes you feel like well, if I leave it for 5 days, it'll get better. But I've auctioned some tools off in the
Uh-huh.
past, and I find that you get initial bids, and then someone bids up maybe within closer to the asking price, and then it dies, and then the last hour it picks up
Yep.
5 days later.
Yep.
So the 24 hours, as long as you have enough people see it, I think that's the way to go. For
Yep.
sure, you're right.
I agree. So interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because I'm asking that because I'm you know what I'm running out of wall space. I've got a whole pile of carvings on my desk over here, and I'm like, how do I want to do this? I want to do it right. I
yep.
don't want to I don't know if I want an Etsy store or not, or if I want to eBay or Etsy or whatever, but
Well,
at
it's
some
all
point in the future, I'm going to be unloading some carvings because yeah, I just got I want to keep making them. So
yeah, as you should. No, and then you couldn't go wrong with any of those. I mean, if you went to Facebook, if you went to Etsy, if you went to eBay, I think the auction format might be neat for you because then you've got the advantage of numbers, and so you wouldn't have to put a price tag on it. You could just let people,
mhm.
whoever wants it the most gets it. In other words, so
I
let
guess
that be.
you'll learn pretty quick if you only get $35 for a carving, then that
Yeah,
wasn't the way to go.
exactly. Yeah, but
Anyway,
that
so
won't
outside of
happen.
carving, anything else exciting?
Oh, really, it's been kind of low key. I was kind of getting over that cold that I had last week. You could probably hear it in my voice. And so the only lingering symptom is some like some chest tightness, but that's pretty much today actually that kind of broke midday. So feel mostly better now. So that's good. Been trying to be diligent, hitting the sauna more, and I'm more excited about the sauna since I got sick because it's kind of gives you some relief if you're real stuffy, declog your nose, and so
And you can justify it now,
yeah,
right?
right.
Of course, you don't really have to justify it to anybody, but
Yeah, well, exactly right. Just fight yourself, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
So,
what about
well,
you?
there you go. Well, I've had work is work as usual, but seems to be a little bit more hectic these days, and I was called in pretty much every day this week. But
Wow.
uh, I'll tell you a little story before I talk about what I've been making. But it was so funny. I was sitting home. I think it was Friday night eating supper. You ever sit there just eating your supper, and the phone rings, and all of a sudden, within 10 minutes, you're in a life or death situation?
No, no, that's never
Well,
happened.
that's over dramatic, but it was pretty sketchy. My brother called me. It was about this time of day, so it was dark outside, and he said the big Sven, the male, the big reindeer, was caught up in his fence.
Oh boy.
So Sven is a massive rack on him, and he's in the rut. So this great big reindeer got so he's rutting. So you ever see in the trees in the bush, that's what the deer and the moose do. They scratch the velvet off their antlers on trees and
Mm-hmm.
mark their
Right.
territories and whatever. So
Yeah.
he's scratching everything, and he got into the fence and started twisting it up and twisting it up, and he had this whole line of fence, got it all wrapped in his antlers. So we got an angry reindeer, and I shouldn't even guess. I won't guess how many pounds he is, but he's a big reindeer, madder than mad, with about 8 loops of wire on his antlers, and he's tied within like an 8 foot radius. He can't go any farther. He's pulling the fence down, really. So he's like, we got to get in there and get this fence off this reindeer off his rack. And like I said, he's mad. Like you're getting close to him, and he's just charging back and forth and back and forth and stomping and jumping and bucking. And so anyway,
Yikes.
that was we were staying out there. So I went in, and so I got my hands on his antler and just
Ugh.
wiggling, squirming, and fighting, and we got him pulled up so then we could get on the other side of the fence and pull him against the fence. So we felt a little bit safer. but still trying to hold this angry reindeer so that I
Oh,
could take the bolt cutters and cut the wires off of his antlers.
wow.
And man, it was so hairy.
Yeah,
It
that
was
thing could end
crazy.
you.
Just with the
Yep.
just lifting its head, it could take out your eyeball, and
Yep.
it was just massive antlers just going just everywhere. So
Or
yeah, that was
come up beneath your
that was
chin.
oh yeah, that was
Break your neck.
very exciting,
Yeah.
very fun little moment. But otherwise, yeah, I've been doing some carving too. Did some wood spirits. I've got this guy here. This is just a regular typical wood spirit.
Nice.
And then, as I think we talked about a week ago, that I told you I had never done a green man. So I made a green man.
All right. And a green
Half a
man
green
that,
man. Basically a green man beard. He doesn't have the green man hair, but he's got a
man,
green
that
man
paint
beard.
job. So for those of
And
you listening, there's a beautiful paint job on that, and the eyes are they're very much
they're very
alive. Yeah.
piercing, aren't they?
Yeah, they look awesome.
But that was so much fun. So I started on the hair. I didn't decide to do a green man. I had
Yeah.
already done the hair, and I was just gonna do the beard. And then I wanted, since his hair was slicked back, I wanted to pull his beard sideways.
Yep.
And then I just started thinking about how I would split the beard and make like a wind blow.
Yep.
And then I just got to the leaves. I said, I'm doing leaves because this has this little tit on the side here. I
Yep.
said that would
Nice.
make a little extra little leaf on the side.
That's
So then
fun.
he became a green man. So it was so much fun. But back to how you started out with talking about your oak leaves on your green man. 2 times this week, I started making a little what do you call it? A little, not a fairy house, but I guess you call it a fairy house. Is that what you call it? Like the whimsical house?
Yeah,
I call it
whimsical
Mark.
house, fairy house, whatever you want to call it, I
So
guess.
between the fairy house, which that's one of the ones I set aside because I got a little bit frustrated, and the green man. So 2 times this week, I had an urge to get a Dremel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I may have to pursue that. And I'll tell you why.
Oh, you don't own one?
No, I don't own one.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No, and I don't have any burrs or nothing.
Yeah.
But I could totally see the use of it.
Mhm.
And I always said I don't like them. I don't want them.
Yep.
But basically, sometimes you need them, or they'll help you a
Yes.
lot,
Yes.
right? So I may end up going that route. I'll tell you what I was doing on the house. I wanted to create a post in it, and I was trying to carve in behind it with my gouges and
Yep.
chisels, and
Yep.
and it just, you work a way through it, make a hole on each side, and then you're just chiseling back and forth, just waiting for it to break off.
Exactly.
And if you had a little power carver, you could have got that in behind and just burred it right out.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
the same thing
Right.
for the leaves, trying to undercut the leaves. I really wanted to raise them up, but all I could do was get my knife underneath on an angle and try and cut up. But I could have had more space underneath the leaves and
Yep.
get them raised up and shadowed a lot better with a power carver. So old man can change. I think I'm going to investigate it at least, and see if there's one's better than the other. Or we'll talk about it later. But yeah, that was something I want to do. And how many, like, starting out, how many burrs do you think you need? A couple, 3 burrs would be probably get you pretty far, wouldn't they?
Oh, 3. No, I would. I mean, you probably. Yeah. I mean, I regularly, well, I don't really have a Dremel in hand for most carvings anymore, but this green man, I used it a bit. What was another carving that I used it on? But mostly I use a 2 millimeter or a 1 millimeter ball.
Oh, just a little tiny one.
Just a tiny, because most of the time when I'm using a Dremel, it's for that reason. It's like there's a certain spot that I want to undercut that is kind of hard to get to. I don't want to break it. And if I use the carving tool, I might wedge it open. But there's another tool that I like that's a tapered, like it's a long taper, meaning it stays pretty thin most of the time. It's not like a big round taper, but I do like that. It's like a conical shape. Yep, it does come to a point.
Yep, I can see that.
That
because
yeah.
And do you have a flex shaft? Because I can't imagine.
Yeah,
you use the actual handheld tool.
I do have a flex shaft, but I don't use it. I don't like it. I don't have the controller for it, so I can't control the speed. So it's just one speed and it's mediocre, a medium speed. It's not very fast. It's probably, I don't know, 5,000 RPM or something. So yeah, I like the handheld Dremel.
Okay, all right. I just think for what I could see on the whimsical house, I think it might be a hindrance of bumping into the
Yeah.
without the flex shaft. The flex shaft is much skinnier. That it's almost like holding a big marker
Yeah.
instead of a bigger tool.
Yeah, no, I did it for years. I used a flex shaft, and I even have a Dremel brand. I have a Red Wing brand, which is like a Minnesota made rotary tool, and then a Dremel brand version, and that one was nice. And I had the flex shaft on it. I found that you have to keep it like oiled, and they tend to get hot if you put too much of a torque on it. And I'm sure it's better, but I just got lazy and went back to just using the Dremel, and it kind of stays out of my way for the most part. So
Yeah. Well, anyway, I like nobody has to have one. I
mm-mm.
just found that if I start horsing with my knife and I put too much pressure on everything all the time, I can see myself breaking those leaves off also. Whereas it'd be nice to actually give them the leaves the shape first, and then when you're happy with your leaf, then you can undercut them and get them shadowed up. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
that's that.
And another thing,
But
sorry, I got excited. I
yeah,
interrupted
go
you.
ahead.
Is you can use, one of the, a lot of us, if you're like me, you have an aversion to painting carvings. And I don't know what it stems from. I think it's just, you like the wood to show through, you want it to be natural, and you don't like the extra step. Yeah, that's how I am. But for those of you like me, you can use paints in a clever way to make certain areas look darker, even if you're not, coloring the eyes or coloring the leaves. You can use oil paints or even water-based paints to go underneath the leaves and create a little more contrast. That's kind of a nice, yeah. Did you do that?
Well, I painted all the leaves and the hair and the eyebrows
Mhm.
black, first coat.
Oh,
And there's two coats of different colors of green on top of the black
interest. That's cool. Give it depth.
to give it the depth. And so I learned that too. Like all the shadowing should be darker. That's
Mm,
what basically what antiquing after the fact would do as well.
yeah,
It would
right.
leave the dark in all the creases and crevices to
Yep,
give it that antiquing and shadowing. So
absolutely.
yeah.
So,
But other than that, I did what did I do for YouTube? You know what? Oh, here's a funny story. Me and Sophie and I, we did a live stream on YouTube
oh
on a
yeah.
Sunday night. That was fun. We hadn't done that for a long time, and it's always fun. We didn't give too much notice. I guess maybe the afternoon worth of notice, and yeah, we had a good turnout. Lots of constructive questions, and I think I'm going to do it again. I tried to explain to them while I in the process, and I've had lots of feedback. Some was good, some was bad, but lots of feedback saying I want to do more live streams, and this podcast work hand in hand for my words. I always say people ask me questions under videos, never go back to check my answers,
Yep.
and then on top of it all, I'm only telling one person the answer. So if I open up to the questions, whether the podcast or a live stream, that's seems to work better. Tell
Totally.
everybody instead of tell one person, so I don't keep repeating myself over and over and over again. So that was fun. And what else did I do? I made a short of I. So it may be my last short ever.
Oh
you
no.
know my my love hate relationship with short videos,
Yeah.
but I just made a real 30-second short of the carving from the week before that the woods watcher I call him, the kind of like
Hmm.
the half face guy.
Can I say too, I'm so jealous of your name. Like I would have like I was staring at this carving today, this green man just staring at it, going wood watcher. Dang it. What else do I call this? It's a good
I
name.
know, like I just like that name better than wood spirit.
Me too.
I don't know why. So I said to Sophie, I said I gotta start hashtagging everything woods watcher and see if we can
Yeah.
get it going again instead
Yeah.
of wood spirit everything.
Yep.
But I did that short and it didn't really take off, but which is fine. I don't expect it to. You never know when YouTube's going to take off or something. But basically, it was just basically an ad for the full length video is how I looked at it. But what do you think? People say YouTube, oh yeah, you got making all that money. what do you think? I think there's 7,000 views. What do you think the income is from the short?
Oh, I couldn't even venture a guess. I'm not experienced enough.
I know it's crazy, but I'll tell you, 7,000 views on the short. Lots of comments, lots of negative. You put up with a lot of crap on the shorts because
Yeah.
they're putting it in front of a different audience. That's also the point. You're drawing out from a bigger audience when it gets on the YouTube, or if you get to the YouTube shelf. So it'll put it out there for everybody. But I checked the analytics, and I have made 10 cents.
Doug, congratulations. Can we get some sound effects in here?
I should say
Woo!
that's even better for Canadians, because that's 10 cents American is 12 cents Canadian.
Doug,
Isn't that
what will you do with
ridiculous?
all of that money? Where do you think
Isn't it?
you think
It's
you'll
so
save some of
crazy.
it, spend some of it?
I don't know.
Give
It's
some
just
away.
there's a you can't even get bubble gum in a bubble gum machine anymore.
How do you think this is going to change your life, Doug?
Yeah, it's changed my life already. No more shorts. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I just think that was so crazy.
That's
but anyway,
wild.
it's not those shorts are never for the money, but it almost feels more insulting to give you 10 cents than to give you nothing.
Yeah,
But
no, it is actually. They should they should just pay you in dollars only, right?
you would think, but anyway.
Our topic for today,
yes,
we have a good one.
Well, I have a couple topics. What was your let's start out with the one that we discussed earlier, and I asked you if you have any goals. This is the one. Yeah. Okay. So earlier, or I guess the last before Christmas, we talked about resolutions or challenges for the new year. But I was thinking today that's not quite the same as a goal.
Yep.
So do you have any goals for this year?
I do, and it surrounds. It seems a little bit oddly specific, but it surrounds long phone calls during work hours with customers, with distant friends. We're not talking about close friends and family here. We're talking about like people in my life who I don't really need to talk to for 4 hours. Takes up a good part of my life, more than I want it to. And so I've decided that, in talks with my girlfriend, that I'm going to allocate specific times for phone calls, as far as like outgoing calls, right? And then receiving calls, mostly if it's a close friend or something, I'll probably take it, but or especially a family member or my girlfriend. But lunch, breakfast, lunch, and then after 6 is the allocated. Those are the allocated times for phone calls. I'm not going to talk to customers, because the problem is I like to talk so much that even if it's somebody I haven't seen, even more so if I haven't seen somebody in 10 years and they call and say, "Hey, Alec, tell me about wood carving faces," and then it's like, "Well, do I have a story for you?" It's just like 4 hours later, it's like, wow, I didn't get the commission done that I needed to get done today. Or, man, I really wish I would have done that video, but I didn't have time. I wonder why I didn't have time. Look at my phone, and it's like that conversation went for an hour, and then you ended up talking to so-and-so for 2. And so that truly, as far as goals, I know that's really not like a big visionary, like moonshot goal, but it's to be really, what it speaks to is just to be a little bit more diligent with my work day and the time that I spend. And that extends to social media, of course, too, but just distractions in general.
No, I totally get that. You need some AirPods.
Yeah.
And then you can just talk while you work.
Well, that helps. Well, especially
I'm not trying to give you an out.
Well, that's true though. Like with carving, and here's the distinction: if you're not doing something that requires left brain, you could talk on the phone all you want. So if you've already got the rough sketch in for carving, or you know exactly what you're doing, you can talk on the phone all day long, listen to a podcast, listen to music, and it won't affect you. But it's the problem is when it keeps you from carving, because you feel bad because you want to be attentive to whoever it is you're talking to. So yeah, the AirPods, that works.
So if I'm listening to podcasts while I work, I'll have AirPods in. If somebody calls me, I never stop working. I keep working. And then they'll say, "What's that noise? You're making a lot of noise." I said, "Hey, you called me while I'm working."
Yep, exactly.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's
You know,
good.
it's so funny. When I was a kid, you can't relate to this, I'm sure. But when I was a kid, I'd be gone for 10 hours, whatever. I'd come home and with a little pull-out roll of paper beside the phone,
Uh,
and your mother or whoever answered the phone would take a note,
yeah.
say, "Hey, uh, Johnny called you. He wants you to call him back when you get home."
Yep.
And that's the way a telephone used to be used.
I'm surprised they had paperback. I honestly would have assumed that you would have done something with stone and a tablet,
There,
like a stone
there you
tablet and
well,
an etching.
no, no, they had the paper,
Okay.
but
Hmm.
that's how it was. And now, see, I always said if I hired somebody, I wouldn't even let them carry a phone. You can pull your phone out at lunchtime.
Right.
I was with a guy today, and I loaded his truck full of chairs and stuff, and he had his phone in his hand the entire time we were working.
Yuck.
Like I could not understand how people can put up with that. Like if you're working, you should be working. Now, of course, you're self-employed, and I'm not saying that to you. I'm just saying that in general.
No,
You
I'm with you.
see, you see people working, and they're just having full text conversations and
Hmm.
whatever. But I'm still kind of old school on that. So
No, that's
yeah.
good. No, I'm with you. So, what about you? What's like a goal for this year, if any?
As you know, and many know that I'm kind of struggling now to find purpose and direction, and I kind of think I not in life, but in this whole community, like the carving world and YouTube and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think I've kind of decided that my problem is that I'm trying to please everybody. I
Mm.
cannot. I'm trying to be a people pleaser and keep everybody happy, and I'm making myself unhappy by trying to keep people happy. And again, it was reiterated this weekend on the live stream and subsequent emails and comments after. Like people are getting mad. There's no way in the world I can please everybody. It's crazy. And if you try something different, then you're, one guy, what was it? I was a corporate sellout or something or whatever. Like it's just like, where did that come from? Another guy was telling me that be honest with us. Are you a carving channel? I'm like, are you stupid? like, like there's just no, it just comes out of nowhere and you cannot keep everybody happy. So my goal, the goal that I was thinking was just, I'm going to do whatever the Sam Hill I want to do.
Yep.
And I'm not going to worry about everybody. And
Yeah.
if they like what I do, great.
Yep.
And most of them still will. But
Yeah.
I always listen. It's always that squeaky. They always say the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Right.
And I could get 99 positive comments and then one stupid comment, and I'll try to please the stupid one. And like, why would I ever do that?
Yep.
Ever?
Yeah.
You just have to learn to ignore negativity and just keep yourself happy. Because at the end of the day, I had a guy. I was shoveling snow this morning, salt on the sidewalk, and the guy that I hadn't seen for probably 20 years. I worked with him 20 plus years ago, and he pulled in and he went on a little rant telling me all the people our age that have died in the last 20 years. Our age. And I was
Why
like,
would you want to hear that?
well, I don't know. We just started talking about somebody and goes, yeah, well, he died. And then, okay, did you hear about he died? And then over the last year, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, we're all gonna die.
Yep.
Why would I waste my life trying to please people that don't give a rip about
Come
it's
on.
just negative people. Get rid of them.
Yep.
So anyway, I want to please myself. And if that means, like I said earlier with the live stream and whatnot, I was saying more and more of my videos are going to be more demonstration based,
Yep.
and I'll answer your questions about them on live streams or even this podcast.
Yeah.
Instead of always, giving you a step by step, because at this point, people, and I said that one guy said, you how did he I'm trying to think of I'll never get the exact words, but basically I thought you were here to promote the carving and you weren't here for yourself. I'm like, Well, if that was true, even still, if that was true, I've done it for 5 years. I think I did my, I think I did it.
Yeah.
So I think I promoted carving somewhat. So anyway, my goal, that said, my goal, all this to say, I want to carve faces. When you met me the first time, I used to always say, I always want a little bit of goofiness and everything, a little quirky, a little weird. But I'm hooked on faces right now. And I bet you that's going to continue this year. I
Yeah.
can't see it stopping anytime soon because,
Yeah.
like I said, I just did my first Green Man, and I'm telling you, I almost want to turn around and start another Green Man immediately because I
Yep.
loved it so much.
Yep.
So I love faces, and
Yeah.
I'm going to take some classes from you, hopefully at some point, and really dive in and try to become a good face carver.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, it's something about faces are just yeah, never feel like you really get it. I mean, I look at my carvings and I still go, oh my gosh, I have so much. I mean, having done this for a job, I'm sometimes looking at my faces and I'm getting embarrassed, like my gosh, I've got a long ways to go. And I think that, but then again, that's what makes it good, right? Is you look at your carving and you simultaneously experience like joy that you made that. That
Yep.
is so cool. Like you get really excited, but then at the same time, you're like, that's not quite. I know I can do that better. I know I can if I
Yeah.
really pay attention. So
And then you start pointing out all the flaws to people that they look at it. It's the same as anything. You
yeah,
used to always you build something cool and you go, yeah, but they say, oh, that looks really good. Then you say, yeah, but if you notice that piece of trim in the corner there, like
yeah,
nobody ever knows, you know.
yep. Well, I used to think that critical spirit was necessary. Like, and I say critical spirit coming from a Christian background, so that sounds like very Christianese. But I mean, like a critical attitude about your work is necessary. I think it's good to like know where your shortcomings are, but I think it's better just to be encouraged because then you're going to get to carving more. You're going to enjoy
Yep.
it, like celebrating a carving that looks pretty good is better than being like, that's not it. That's not it. I can do better than that. It's like celebrate. And I feel like there's a willing ignorance that goes with being good at anything that you just keep striving, even if you're not where you need to be. And so you don't have, when you start out, you don't have enough sense to go, well, I'm not a very good carver, so I don't think I should keep going. You just go, wow, I think I could do something. You see into the
Yeah, I
future.
can do better. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do better. But it's also that the self-deprecating comes from a lack of confidence, really.
Yeah. Yep.
And then see, I envy people that are overconfident making crap.
That's what I'm saying. You hit it. That's it. Yeah.
Right? So like I look at people, they're going, oh, I did this, like,
Yeah.
look at me, I did this. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I
Yeah.
wish I had your confidence
Yeah,
because that
exactly.
looks like crap. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great to be so blind
Yeah.
to
Right.
know where you want to be or just be happy? So anyway, that's
Yeah.
my goal, is to just really dive in deep into faces. You could turn faces different ways, sideways,
Mhm.
up,
Yeah.
green men, wood spirits, women, just bark in general. Like that's where I want to be right now. And
Yeah.
I don't think I should ever have to apologize for doing what I want to do. And I'm not going to.
No.
So that's my goal. Take it or leave it.
There you go.
They all leave.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone leaves it.
But I also said in the podcast too, I was going to add some more different crafts and stuff in, like driftwood
Yeah.
stuff too. So yeah. But anyway, so I'm going to let go of all of those negative people. I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm not going to talk about it again.
Yeah.
They're just going to, if they don't like it, they can disappear. And I'm going to carry on and keep myself happy. And if I'm happy, then my wife is happy. And if my wife's happy, I'm
Even
extra
happier.
happy. Even happier.
I like it.
It's
I
so
like
funny
it.
how one little comment can just ruin your day.
I
Even
know.
though the guy might be a total loser in his basement watching cartoons,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. In his parents' basement watching cartoons at 30.
yeah, but it does affect you. And a lot of people, even if you say you need to grow thicker skin, even when you say that, it affects you. You're just talking big.
Somebody gave a comment, put a comment saying, I really enjoy this channel. And I know this is an odd thing to say, but you're really not annoying at all. And I read that and I was like, am I supposed to be glad that you made this comment? Like,
yeah. You're really not that annoying, Alec.
That's how it felt. Yeah, it felt like, I think most people probably think you're annoying, but I'm a nice guy, so I don't.
I don't find you that annoying. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Imagine. Wow. What a nice guy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So anyway, we're gonna get rid of those people.
Yeah.
Or block or not.
We're gonna end them. I'm just kidding. That's terrible.
What would you say? We're gonna end them? No, we're gonna edit them with that.
Edit them is what I meant to say. I just took it to the extreme, but
that's hilarious.
So,
but yeah, that's pretty much it for me. For goals. I had another subject idea, and maybe we should hold on to it for a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, over the next week, I'll give you something to think about, and we'll come back because I've got some stories from for this next week.
Okay. Looking forward. I'm gonna go get something while you're chatting up everyone.
What could it be? What could Alec be going to get? I wonder. You'd think he would have it. Alec has just placed his headphones right on the camera of his thing, and they look like they've been through a war.
I made fun of this guy in school, in college, because he had the exact same brand of headphones that I had. But they looked like this. They were like peeling and he had tape wrapped around him. I remember looking at that guy and being like, dude, what's wrong with that guy?
Uh-oh.
See, we match. There you go.
Oh God, I can't even make fun of you because mine are the same way.
There you go. All right. Mailbag.
Mailbag. Not bad. Almost. Maybe we need a sign.
Yeah.
We have to make a sign when we say
countdown.
But or you know what? Maybe not. I don't think I ever want to do it in sync.
In sync, yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah.
That would be wrong at this point. We've established a precedent.
That's right. 18 shows later. So digging into the mailbag, what do you got this week?
I mean, there's a lot here. And there are people have been writing these very nice emails and telling us how they love our carvings and all this very nice stuff. And so we appreciate it. I'm going to try to jump to the question parts of these emails. But there's a lot of good comments here. So firstly, Doug, will you ever make a boat? This is from Mark A. And I think
Mark A.
Wait a second. Did you not talk about this?
I think I did.
Was this in personal conversation?
No, I think we've talked about this before. But Mark A, I think, is he the one who's writing from the riverboat in the UK? I think he is. I think he's at the riverboat. He is.
Oh yeah, he is from Wiltshire, England.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He says, all went well here on the canal in Wiltshire, England, on board Water Shrimp, my 72-foot narrowboat. Longtime fan of Mr. Linker's work and new fan of young Mr. Lacasse. Love the cottonwood bark carving, but it's a little rocking horse turd over here in the UK. Okay, so it's small is what he's trying to say.
No, he's trying to say it says hard to find. It's like a unicorn.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I guess rocking horses don't turd, so that'd be the appropriate way of looking at that. There you go. Thank you. I've never heard that before.
So just before we get to the question, if there is one, but have you seen Riverboat?
No.
I am so envious. It's like the ultimate tiny house.
Oh, really?
You have to go on a research it after the show.
Okay.
It would be so cool. And they run them in these canals and stuff. But how long did he say it was? 72 foot?
72 feet.
A narrow little boat, but it's like set up as the perfect tiny house. They're so cool. You have to look at them.
So you live in it?
Really cool. Yeah, a lot of people do.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if he does, but I know I watched a lot of these different types of housing videos, and the really cool in the tiny house markets, and people love them, and they look
Hey,
so cool.
it's very neat.
And you don't even have to stay in the same spot.
Yeah.
Float away. But in the same hand, if you're like me who doesn't want to go out into 20-foot swells in the ocean, how cool would be a riverboat?
Yeah.
Same
Really cool.
idea as how cool would it be to paddle uptown, like in the canals in Holland and stuff. I think that
Right.
would be
Mm.
such a neat way to live. But anyway, sorry. We
So the
always want what we
question,
don't have. Yeah.
the first question is for Doug, and it's, well, firstly, how's the chin coping without the yeard?
Oh, it came off chilly. I may have mentioned last week, but I had to. I felt very womanly. I had to put chapstick on. Did I mention that last week? I think I might have. I
Yeah.
told somebody not too long ago
Yeah,
anyway,
you
but
did.
immediately when I took it off and the wind got to my lip, I guess it was protected for so long, it just rebelled and dried and cracked, and I had to get Sophie to give me some lip stuff. And I was like, oh, this is so unmanly to do.
Some lip
But
gloss.
it wasn't gloss, but
Which color did you
yeah,
use, Doug?
no colors.
Sorry, that's not
But
appropriate.
yeah, that was it. But otherwise, I kind of like it. Everyone keeps telling me how young I look, and I'm like, yeah, I know I look pretty old and hillbilly-ish the last couple of months there. So I'm happy to take it off. I'm not
Yeah.
sad,
No.
but
No.
I'll probably find a happy medium
Well, now that you have
over
the
the
scruff
next.
coming in, I feel like I can look at you and recognize you for who you are. The scruff helps.
Yeah, the scruff gets whiter and whiter though.
Yeah.
It's coming in so white. Oh, you hear the dog barking?
Hi, doggies. Okay, so he talks about Offerman here, and he asks, "Oh, okay, I know you like Mr. Offerman, and he's done some amazing work. Plus, you live by a lake. Okay. My question for Alec is, will you stick to cottonwood bark forever, or do you imagine moving on to proffer wood full pieces?" Um, he says, "I feel the size of the bark always restricts what you can do. I love that about it too. But if a customer had a giant piece of walnut and wanted a full-size Native American Indian, say, your thoughts, please." Well, I do, Mark, and I suggest you take a look at my work because a lot of what I do is full size. I don't do very many full size busts, and if I was commissioned to do that, you're darn tootin', I would take that commission for sure. But yeah, I do a fair amount of. I'm looking at a couple of life size bust statues up on my bench. There's one right here. So here's one. So I do, yeah.
Well,
Let's use white
Alec
cedar.
is showing a
Yeah,
pretty
white.
cute little woman there.
Yeah, a white cedar woman. So I do a lot of hardwood carving. Not a lot, not as much as probably bark, but yeah, quite a bit. So happy New Year's to you. Thanks, Mark. And Roger says he's been enjoying the show. He has a question about paste wax that he later in another email nixed because he said he ended up figuring out that the paste wax kind of fully absorbed into the bark. But he says he has a side question for me that talking about this pelican shaped chisel, this skew knife. And
Oh yes.
yeah, he wants to know about this. He said he's found one from Beavercraft, but he's not impressed. And I hate to break it to you, Roger, but this tool is not made anymore. And to my knowledge, it doesn't exist, although I'm sure there's somebody out there making something. And I know that Denny is the company that made it, and now it's OCC Tools.
Yep.
And they're making something kind of like this, apparently.
It is similar. So now I've seen they have a shorter one that they do make,
Cool.
and the other one is more of a rounded tip. But this is the one that you're referring to, I believe. And yeah.
Where'd you get that one, Doug?
Well, my buddy Alec and one of his students bought it for me out of the kindness of their hearts after me coveting.
Dean, shout out to Dean for going in on it with me.
Although coveting is maybe not right, sometimes it does pay off when you verbalize it and constantly threaten to steal it when you come to their house. So.
Yep. Yeah. This individual, this is Daryl Daw. He's asking if you've ever cut down cottonwood into rectangular blocks and made caricatures out of them.
Oh, I've read this one because I took a little tangent and tried it for him. And
Nice. How about
I made
that?
I made a little fella. I really
That is
screwed his
awesome.
eyes, to be honest. But the thing was, it took so little time. It carved so fast.
It looks really good.
But yeah, you can. It is not the same. You really have to calm down. You can't just go in. Cottonwood likes to split and bust under pressure.
Yeah.
So you really have to make sure you're really cutting and slicing. You can't just push like basswood. You would push on it and the
Yep.
wood would remove. If you push on it, you could split because it's such a layered material that it really wants to split and come apart. But it can definitely be done.
Huh.
But yeah,
That's cool. I bet he didn't expect that on his comment there.
oh yeah, I read that, and well, I think it was just yesterday, or whatever. I just took
Yeah,
15 minutes, and I just went, and
that's
it
cool.
carved so fast. It's like
That's awesome.
carving soap almost. So,
That's
yeah,
great.
is it
Ed,
cost effective? Probably not.
no, no.
But I have lots of scraps, and it was
There
no
you
big
go.
deal.
Yeah, if you can
Yeah,
turn the stuff you're throwing out into a carving, then it's that cost effective for sure.
yeah. Because I've been cutting down my bark lately because my bark has been too tall, and so
Hmm.
I will I'll even just take off 4 inches off an end, or if it's a rough end,
Yeah.
4 inches is perfect size for a little
Hey,
caricature.
Ed Wolfstag
There you go.
says, a set of quick questions.
What a
One,
great name. What a great name. I want to be
I
Sir
know.
Wolfstag.
You know,
Hey?
the Germans, I'm assuming this is a German name. Ed, correct me in the following week if I'm wrong, but the Germans, they have these last names with Wolf, like Wolfhausen and like Wolfstagen, and that's cool. When does the current piece you're working on get too big for 2-inch knife blades? Let's deal with that one first. For me, I'll answer that. I don't know how to answer this question because I don't use a knife that's longer than 1.5 inches ever. So there's no piece of carving, but I'm assuming he's talking about caricatures. So Doug, take it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I don't even own I think my biggest is 2 inches. And that's easy now.
Sorry.
Talking about tools here, knife tools. Good grief. We're gonna
I'm
keep going.
sorry. I'm a 12-year-old. I'm sorry.
You are a 12-year-old.
Two. Oh, you have more to
2 inches.
contribute.
I never use like a longer like Sloyd knife on my carving. I always keep it. My favorite knife is 1.75 inches on everything, really. So
I agree. The shorter ones are,
what a guy. What a guy.
they get the job done. So two, what size carving necessitates the
Are you
need?
gonna be okay? Are you gonna be okay? I like his
Yeah.
still got that little glimmer in his eye there.
Yeah. Yeah. They're called
That-
tears. I just got emotional. I remembered something my
yeah,
grandma
yeah.
told me when I was very young. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it, but two, what size necessitates the need for a carving station in addition to gouges? So what I'm hearing here is Ed is transitioning from a caricature carver in hand to trying other things. And so to me, what necessitates that is your desire. I mean, as soon as I found Ron Adamson and his fixture setup, I created my version of it in a shop. So I would say the time is now, Ed, if you're interested in doing it, create a carving station right away.
Okay, I agree. Except for I would say my qualification for that is this the email that he asked about when does a vice come into play?
That's the next question is, should I plan on a vice in addition to a carving station? Yeah.
Okay, so I'll address that. I personally myself, if I can hold it in my hand comfortably, I definitely want to I won't put it on the wall. What is wrong with
I'm 12. I'm sorry. Something's gotten into me today. It's like the church laughter where you're not supposed to laugh.
Okay, well, he's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it. Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
This will be our last podcast. Alec is canceled.
I'm gonna edit this out.
If you can,
I'm embarrassed.
yeah, I can't even say it again, or you're gonna start giggling like a schoolgirl. But if you can hold it in your hand, I would do that. I bought a little Veritas, really nice little smaller vise that like with the platform face on it for
with a
smaller,
yep,
with the ball joint and whatever. And I never use it.
No, same here. Yeah.
Yeah, either I hold it in my hand or I put it on the wall. There's just that's where it is. Now, mind you, like the size does like, oh my goodness.
I won't. I'm good. I've got a lot of me.
The size does matter. Like even if it's 6 inches tall, if it's 4 inches wide, it's gonna be hard. See, you can do it. Oh my goodness.
It got too specific. Yeah, but no, that is oh,
like.
So he goes on to say that he's been whittling lots of little dudes, but he's been interested in trying his hand at carving larger pieces. So there's nothing here that's funny. I'm just trying to keep this together. Anyway, so he says, P.S. I listen to you guys while at work, and it's like having a radio show in the background. It keeps me sane. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I appreciate that, Ed.
It's like having your kids at work with you.
Yeah, that's true. It's like bringing your kids. That's perfect.
Bring your kid to work day. Oh boy.
Hello, Alec and Doug. I'm in the middle of episode 13, listening about keeping greenwood from checking cracking. As someone who, okay, this is the suggestion. He talks about using, let's see, this is another one that was kind of hilarious. It's called rubbing cocking oil. I have never heard of this. Is that for a gun?
Oh my god! No, it's a spelling mistake. You dingbat! It's cooking oil.
It says cocking. It says COCKING.
Read down farther. It says cooking oil.
Oh, does he? The nice thing about cooking oil. See, I didn't read the entire. I'm like, is that a gun oil? Like a cocking?
Oh.
But it's spelled like cock. Okay, so
I can't believe I gave you another chance.
Yeah, you shouldn't have. Yeah. Anyway, so he says it ensures that the cocking oil will keep it from cracking. So there you go. Cooking oil.
I'm going to say something here. I have no experience myself, but I have heard in the past, like a vegetable oil may go rancid. An olive oil may go rancid. You want something that's more of a neutral base. Mind you, if that's all you got, yeah, try it. But you want more of a less organic oil.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense? Or not organic, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So something that's not prone to going rancid anyway.
Yep.
Neutral.
Yeah. Amen. That finishes it up for us as far as the mailbag. And now we move to a new segment called the featured artist segment.
Yes.
Where we feature an artist.
Yes, and we will invite you to show them some love and check them out and see if you like their stuff like we do.
That's right.
I have one this week that he's been on my list for a while and really enjoy his stuff. He is a carver, but he's a carver of everything. He does caricatures. He does wood spirit bark carvings. He does some chainsaw work. He does relief carving, and his name is Sir Tom Wilkinson. Wilkinson. Tom great. Wilkinson. He is a fantastic wood carver. I only know him from Instagram. I don't know if he's anywhere else, but go check out Tom Wilkinson. Wilkinson, as in Wilkinson Swords.
Absolutely.
I think that's why Sir came to it right away.
Yep.
Sir Wilkinson.
Yeah.
But I really like Tom's work, and he's someone to really look up to. So he's my artist of the week.
I dig. Yeah, I followed him for a while, and I like his work a lot. Mine is Wall Woodworking. I mentioned him in the last podcast, and I said I'd allude to some more information about him, and I never got to it. But I decided to choose him as my craftsperson or artist or maker of the week. And I like him because he he does really, really clean work. A lot of it's, like modern, like he'll do this sort of like modern stuff, like furniture, a lot of it, but he'll also do like these wall pieces as well. And this is like an example. I'm showing everyone, for those of you listening, a visual of a bed frame and a nice little, simple, straightforward, but really beautiful maple side table, or nightstand. So anyway, he does really, really clean work. And yeah, he's a friend. I remember when I first met Brad, he was working at an Apple store, and I was staying at his house because I had an art show in the town I was he lived in. And so he would watch me come back with, I think it was just he'd see me come back with a bunch of carvings sold, and he was kind of interested in woodworking. And so he started buying tools and doing lath work. And before you know it, he had a successful, thriving business on Facebook selling lath art and furniture. And he kept
What
going.
define lath art?
Yeah, so plaster and lath, so walls were made
Oh,
of,
you're talking about the sticks, yeah.
yeah, they're basically, yeah, so walls were at
Okay,
one
yeah.
time were made of these wooden sticks. And so and then naturally somehow they have different colors. Somehow they're painted, some are not painted. I don't know what it is that makes them different colors, but he'll find them and arrange them to create these patterns. So mostly he's not painting these. Some of them, the black ones, he is, but
Oh yeah, no, I totally understand now. I didn't think that you were talking about that, but I know lath and plaster work.
yep. And he'll do these really fun kind of geometric patterns, and they kind of look like Western, but he'll do like for all sorts of different types of furniture like this, and it's really fun. And you may have seen something like this before. It's not completely new as far as genre, but the way he does it, I really dig. The
Yeah.
herringbone, and
So that's fun. Really fun. There's so many different things you can work with, but I'm gonna butt in here and jump in on the lath because anytime I've saved lath from a renovation or whatever, it's always pretty dirty stuff. Like
uh,
hard to get all the plaster out of it,
oh,
right?
okay, yeah.
But if you're ever in the market or if you ever see, you get the same thing. Like I use a lot of tobacco sticks.
Huh.
So if you ever see someone tearing down, I don't know where you are, but we're in like a tobacco belt. There's lots of tobacco kilns, and all the sticks that they've been hanging tobacco in the kiln for 30 years. They're the perfect little 1x2s, but they're so weathered and worn, and they smell so good. They're the
Really?
best. Yeah, they're the best craft material you can find if you can find tobacco sticks. A lot
That's
of
cool.
secondhand stores are carrying them, and people are, luckily, some people are salvaging them. I'm sure the farmers are burning most of them,
Mm.
but they're great. And also is the old snow fences, the old red snow fence. There used to be stick wood fences, and normally they were originally very red, but then of course if you use them every year for 30 years, then they get really weathered and worn, and they look really cool too. So the old snow fence and tobacco sticks are great for lath replacements, and I
Huh.
use them like just go ahead.
Is it the same size and shape?
Pretty much, pretty
Okay.
much, yeah. The snow fence may be a little thinner than the tobacco sticks, but it's the same idea as that plaster lath sticks.
Huh.
So yeah, and all of those things that I just mentioned, along with the lath, are things that soon nobody will ever find.
Right.
It's kind of sad, right?
That's true.
So go buy some 1x2s and throw them outside for a while.
Yeah. Buy a bunch of tobacco pipes, or pipe tobacco, and then kind of mix it in with the wood and try to pretend you're Doug. Once you,
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
that
know.
old that yeah, you don't know what you're saying. But the Virginia, those tobaccos, like this, the smell, because that's where they dry the tobacco leaves, and it just impregnates that wood, and it's a real sweet, nice smell. Be a nice candle.
Yeah, hey, there's nothing wrong with the smell of tobacco. I miss my dad when I was a kid. I don't remember cigarettes because he transitioned to a pipe before I was very old. And man, I loved it. I was sad. I mean, I remember my mom rejoicing when he quit, but I remember being very
Oh
upset.
yeah. Oh, you can't beat the smell of a pipe. The
No,
problem nowadays is all the flavored tobaccos have been banned in Canada.
really,
Yeah, so
to
there's
keep
no
kids away
like,
from him.
Yeah, but even the pipe tobacco, like a cherry Borkum Riff, would be like the ultimate smell. Like I would pay someone to smoke their pipe in my house. It's such a nice smell.
Yep.
But yeah, they're all going to no flavors.
Isn't it interesting though? Like cigars, I think they're just basically a similar thing, but they absolutely reek. Like I would pay someone
Yeah.
to smoke
Not smoking.
and not smoke in my house with
Yeah.
with a cigar.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is, but there's definitely the pipe is so much more acceptable and mild, and
Yep.
yeah. So
But
yeah.
anyway,
Moving on to our next segment, which would be our media segment.
what you've
And
been up
what
to,
do you
listening to rather,
what
what you've been taking in,
you've been
reading,
watching, reading, anything, anything goes.
Yeah.
So what do you got?
You want me to go?
You
I
gotta go.
have been well, so I'm back on the train of the Swedish lessons, and I did pretty good today actually. I remembered, I think well, not really great, but I think I'll give myself like a B minus as far as like my retention of the stuff that I learned. Yeah. So using this app called Babbel. We are not sponsored by Babbel, but anyway, yeah. So I've been doing that here and there. I got hooked on Mav. I mentioned him last week, and I've watched less of him this week, but I'm still kind of looking for time to watch more of his videos because they're very entertaining. These camping and the truck camping videos.
Yeah. Did you ever hop over to check out Foresty Forest or not?
No, I put it in my search engine of the day of our podcast and I lost it. I forgot about it.
Yep.
Yeah, someone commented
Good.
though that they're with you on him.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good. Nothing dramatic, just beautiful drone footage, and he's what they call he call himself a peak bagger.
Huh.
So he climbs peaks, and do you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he's just so I think right now he's well over 100 peaks that they all have like a cache at the top where you sign your name.
Huh.
So his goal is to get thousands, I guess. And it's like really extreme hikes that he's doing to get up there.
Wow.
So, yeah. Well, mine is very boring for our listeners, but I've been binging on the Video Creators Podcast.
Oh yeah.
That's with Tim Smoyer, and it's just tricks and tips and stuff, and how to improve your channel and just make it work better. And it's some good stuff. And today was about podcasting, so you may want to check that out yourself, Alec.
Yeah.
And give it a listen. But yeah, good podcast, good people, entertaining. Even if you don't care about the video creating, it's just one of those. They do a little check-in and stuff, so you get to know the people good, and it's fun. It helps me because it tells me all the time that I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And it kind of hits on some of the common issues and problems with the online world, which is a zoo. So
true.
There you go. I think that wraps up our episode number 18. So once again, thanks to all who are with us this long and can put up with us, and especially those who have bought us a coffee. We appreciate that. And we will be back next week with episode 19, if Alec remembers.
That's right.
That's right. All right, guys. See you next week.
Take your vitamins, folks.
I know about. There you go.